Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to my kitchen this morning. I have a lot to do out in the yard today, so I'm going to put together a homemade beef vegetable soup, and I'm just going to kind of let it simmer today while I'm doing all of my yard work this morning, and then when I get done, I'll have something nice to come in and eat. Today, I'm going to be using my small little carrots that I picked in my garden. These are just the little baby ones that I pick and get sorted out in the rows so that the bigger ones can grow. So what I like to do on my vegetable soup, and everybody makes their recipes different, but I'm hoping that when you tune in to see me make something, you know that I'm going to make it fairly simple. Not a whole lot of spices in it to upset your stomach, because that's how I've had to do over the years, but still have it come out nice and tasty. So that's what I'm going to do this morning. I'd also like to say that several of you have asked me where to find on Facebook a particular recipe that I have. You know, maybe you liked my chocolate chip cookies and the pudding chocolate chip cookies, and you don't want to scroll down forever because I have about 67 videos on Facebook. You don't want to scroll down forever just finding that particular recipe. So I've made it kind of easy for you. I spent most of yesterday, and I'm up and running now with a new website. It's called cookingwithcaroldiane.com. And on that website, you will be able to see the recipes. It's still a little bit under construction because I haven't put them all on there yet. A couple of them do have the recipes that you can print those out if you'd like. And I think this is going to be a more easy way to show you certain things that I do, you know, in my kitchen. I've added the little gadgets along the way that maybe I've shown you that is what I like to cook with in my kitchen and where you can find them. I've added all of that, so please check me out at cookingwithcaroldiane.com. I have two different websites. I don't know how long this one will be up and running because my other one really just features my artwork. That's The Gardener's Glove. But this one is just mainly because of my videos and the cooking and recipes, and I am going to start a cookbook. So keep following me, keep sharing, keep commenting, keep doing everything that you're doing on here so that when I get ready to send out my cookbook, I can share that with you and you can say, oh my gosh, now I can just flip the page on a book and there it is in my kitchen too. So let's begin to make this vegetable soup, homemade vegetable soup, easy way. So because it's just me today, I'm just going to use a smaller, pot to cook it in. And what I like to do is get things that are a little harder in texture, get them cooking first. So that definitely would be the potato. And just take any potato, medium-sized potato, small, whatever you have at your house. Start peeling it. I said I'm so excited about my little website because I think you'll find it user-friendly and you'll be able to find these recipes in no time at all. Okay, so you take the potato and you're just going to kind of cut it in half, cut those halves again, and then to make the vegetable soup where you can just eat it, you need to have it bite-sized. So we're just going to come along with just little chunks like this of the potato. And all that's going to go in the pot. You're going to take probably, I don't know, for me today, I'm going to probably put maybe either 4, maybe 6, I don't know, maybe 4 potatoes. And I'll get those all going. Then you're going to take a nice onion, nice fresh onion this morning. I hope everyone had a nice holiday weekend, your Labor Day weekend. Some of you that got to go places, that's always nice. And then some like me that gets to stay home. You got a lot of maybe housework done or yard work done, little honeydews, projects or whatever that you wanted to do. It's just a time that you can get things done on a 3-day holiday, and that's nice for a lot of people. For me, because I'm pretty semi-retired, a 3-day holiday doesn't mean anything to me. The days just kind of all run together. which is fine, which is great. But I did get a lot done. I really did. I redid a flower bed that's by my kitchen window out here with roses. I took the little white picket fence down, and I had to really do a lot of weed care in there, and put my nice little round edges of my pavers in there. And it took me a little while. It really did. I'm really not as fast on all my yard work as I used to be. I really am not. I just kind of take my time, go slow, and I still get it done. I really do. Okay, so that's hard as far as the onions and the potatoes. Now the carrots, I have washed my little carrots, but because they are garden carrots, I will go ahead and take off the outer skin. Even though they're tiny little carrots, it doesn't matter to me that I'm going to stand here and do it individually, because that's what I'm going to do. And then I will cut those in two, and probably I'll go at kind of a little angle with these and get them all chopped up in here. So I will pause my video because, as you can see, I'm going to do several more, but you get the gist of it, that you just take the potatoes, the onions, some carrots, then I'm going to add water in here. And once it starts cooking like this, get it to a good boil and get it soft, but you're not going to get those potatoes where they're just mushy soft like if you were doing mashed potatoes. Don't go that far with it. I kind of like mine with a little bit of a crisp crunch taste to them, so that's what I'm going to do on my potatoes. Won't take very long for these at all, and then I'll show you the next step. So hang on and I'll be right back. I'm back, and I have let my potatoes, carrots, and the onion cook for, probably a good 8 minutes in here. And what I'd like to explain next on my particular vegetable soup is, like I said, I don't want my potatoes really mushy in there. I like them to have a little crispness to it. So I will take this now, and I will go over to my sink, and I will strain off the water part of this to get the starch flavor out of there. You may like that in there, but I just don't. So take any colander strainer. They're the same thing. I just call it a strainer because that's what I grew up calling it. But you take your strainer and put it all in there and rinse it off with some nice cool water, and then bring it back, put it back in your pan and bring it back to the stove, and then I'll go to the next step. So hang on a second. Okay, I have rinsed off all the starch part of the water from my potatoes, the carrots, and the onions. The onions are already soft now. The carrots are still kind of crispy, which I like, and so are the potatoes. So I'm going to put it back on the oven, and on the stove. I had this on high, so I'm going to turn it down just a little bit. Now, instead of using broth from a can, which you certainly could, I'm going to put some water in here. A good 2 cups. Let's see, this is, I added actually 3 cups. 3 cups of water that I'm going to put in here. And if you have in your pantry, in your kitchen, 2 cans of the beef broth or the box kind, that's great. But if you don't, there is another way that you can get the flavoring of the beef broth in here, of one that I grew up with all the time. So they come in a couple of different looks here. One is a box kind that you can get here. You find these in with the seasonings of different things in your grocery store. And it'll be a little square like this, of this particular box, which is a Knorr brand. This one happens to be chicken bouillon. It's a bouillon cube. I'll never forget when I was over at my second son's house one time that he was having surgery, and I was over there helping him, and I was cooking the meals and everything. And he was on the couch watching TV, and I went in and I said, where would I find a bouillon cube? And that just kind of went right on over his head. He just looked at me like was some alien. And with that look, I knew he did not know what I was talking about. So I said, okay, I understand you don't know what that is, so I'll just wing it and put in the spices, different things that I need. And I've laughed about it ever since because he really didn't know what a bouillon cube was. So you can find them. This is another chicken one. You can find it in a powder form in a jar that they just come, you know, like this on the shelf with, like I said, all the spices in the grocery store. That's usually where you find these. This one is just a Kroger brand, an off-brand, but it is my beef one. And this is what they are. They're little cubes like this. And you take the little cube and you take it off of the nice little pretty red foil paper here. And this is your beef broth. It really is. It is years ago when, and they still use it, when you have any kind of surgeries or something that they want you to have just a bland diet and they just want you to have broth. They just said just have a broth soup. This is what they mean. They just mean put one of these in. But I like a little bit more flavor, so I'm going to add 2. I'm going to add 2 beef bouillon cubes is what they're called. We're going to add that in here. Instead of having my, the canned or the box of the beef stock. We're just going to use those. I wanted to show you on the potatoes. I've rinsed my potatoes, but when you have potatoes, carrots, anything hard in your kitchen that you want to scrub and get clean, if I wanted to use the skins of these, and sometimes I have on a vegetable soup, I have left the skin on and I just go ahead and chop it all up, you know, and put it in there. It does give it a really good flavor. It does. And if you're out on a campfire camping, that's what I do. I don't sit here and cut all of the skins off. I leave them on. You can take a Scotch-Brite, brand new Scotch-Brite pad. I usually cut mine in half, and you just scrub the heck out of the outside of that potato, carrot, whatever. Or now I've gotten, these are Scotch-Brite little pads that my hot tub technician kind of turned me onto, because one side is a nice cloth and the other side is this scratchy texture. Same thing. You're just going to kind of brush up and get all dirt or whatever off of a potato, a zucchini, anything like that that you want to kind of clean before you ever put in a pot to start cooking with it. So I kind of wanted to share those with you. Probably will put that on my new website under gadgets, that you will see that too. Okay, so I've got my water in there. I've got the seasoning of the beef broth in there. I will be adding some herbs, some spices in there, but for right now, I've put that in there. Then I'm going to take, over the weekend, I made a real nice roast, and I had a little bit of it left over. And this is really all I need. I probably won't be even using most of this. But this is, oh, it just smells wonderful. And when I cut into it, it gives a pink color inside of the meat, and that's what you want. The best beef vegetable soup that I have made over the years is taking the leftover meat from prime rib. Really, it is just absolutely wonderful. And again, I'm just cutting this up into little tiny bite size because this is a soup. This is just a soup. And I'm going to go ahead and put the meat in here of this. Take some good chunks here. My little Daisy May, my little miniature dachshund, she loves this meat. I give her a little treat every now and then and have her eat some of this. She just gobbles it right down. She's doing a lot better, for those who have asked, you know, how she's doing without her little friend, her little buddy that was the little Chiweenie that I had to put down a few weeks ago. She's doing a lot better on it. She knows it's just her and I now. It really is. But she went into heat, and that's always a process. I'm going to get her fixed as soon as this is all over with. I said, and this is just kind of eyeballing it. I put 4 and they were just kind of smaller. They weren't a small potato, but they weren't really a medium. It was just kind of in between. I put that in there, 4 of them. I did probably about 6 of my small little carrots, and then I did maybe about 1/4 cup of the onion. So far, that's been my ingredients that I've put in here. And anytime you have leftover meat like this, it's great to use for a soup. Soups are wonderful to make because you can throw just about anything in the pot and have it come out really good. I knew somebody one time that, I'm telling you, she threw everything but the kitchen sink in that pot, and somehow it came out just delicious. It really did. Okay, so I'm not going to use all of that meat, but a good portion of it I did. Now on the seasonings, of course, salt and pepper that you would put in here. Generous amount of salt and pepper in the pot. And then over here in my seasoning of my little herbs, and these are fresh from my herb garden that I dry and then I put into my little cute little containers. But I like a nice fresh herb. So I'll take probably a good teaspoon of, this is the basil that I'll stick in there. And then I have some parsley. It's always good in soup. Another good teaspoonful. A little bit more, a little bit less, whatever you want. I am going to add a little paprika in mine. Not much, but a little. Just give it a little zing in there. Definitely some oregano. Fresh oregano. If you don't have the fresh herbs, that's all right. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And a tiny little bit of garlic. Just give it a little snap taste in there of the garlic. And I'll do a little bit of my rosemary, because I like my rosemary. Not very much. Not very much. Now, this is going to cook also. Not that long. Like I said, you don't want those potatoes to get all mushy in there. Put that in there. And then you can go ahead and add, if I hadn't put in my fresh carrots and everything, then I would go ahead and do this anyway. But I'm going to still add any mixed vegetables, the frozen vegetables that you have. Go ahead and put those in there, because that's going to give you not only the carrots, again, that are sliced up, but it has the beans in there, and it has some corn in there, but it also has these nice little, the little peas, the little frozen peas. What I really recommend on this, because I've done it so many times, is that if you're making this right away, that's great. Cook it and eat it right away. If you let this sit a long, long time simmering, then those nice peas, the ones that are bright color like this, they're going to turn like a canned pea, of a soft canned pea. They're going to turn in color and they're going to get really soft, and you don't really want that. You really don't. So again, now my vegetable soup in here has got all the seasonings in it. It has the broth in here. It has everything that you would need, but I'm also going to add my nice homemade, I can get it open here, my nice homemade stewed tomatoes that I do myself, that I can and do myself. So we're going to add some of these in here. Oh, they smell so good. They really do. And I don't know that I want all of the jar of the tomatoes in here. Sometimes less is more. It really is. And because these are the whole tomatoes, I have to kind of chop them up just a little bit. Now it's really looking like a vegetable soup would look. I don't know if you can see that very well. It's really looking good now. And I'm just going to let that slowly cook. I'm on about medium heat on my stove. Go ahead and put a lid on it. and let that cook for just a little while, not a long time, because if you do, like I said, your potatoes will get mushy, and so will those peas. But anyway, that's my homemade vegetable soup that I will be having. Always add maybe a nice pan of cornbread to it, which I might do today. And this can go for lunch or dinner with me, either one. Today, like I said, I've got a lot of yard work to do, so this is going to be nice to come in and snack on a bowl of this whenever I want to. So from my kitchen to yours, this is my homemade beef vegetable soup that I just took what I had in my kitchen. You know, I didn't have to go to the store and get anything. I just took what I had available to me and threw it all in this pot, and it's going to taste pretty nice. When you get all done, if you want to add a little bit more salt and pepper, then do that. You know, it's your preference on the taste part on that. Check me out on my website on cookingwithcaroldiane.com. I hope you find that kind of useful to you. Like I said, if you find some gadget that I have used, one of them, I still have a lot more to put on the website, and one of them is, sometimes I get them out of my holder and sometimes I don't here, are these little guys of these whisks that I really like. There's a small one and a large one, and I'll be putting that on the website too. I put my Miracle Thaw on there. I have added where you can get these nice little guys, you know, for your salt and pepper. My salt container that everybody asks me about, where did you get that cute little vintage salt container? It's on the website, so you can click over there on the objects or gadgets page and find all of that, and I hope that's going to be useful for you. When I get going on the recipes, like I said, I haven't put them all on there yet because there's several of them. But when you do click on them, you're going to not only click on the video, but you are going to see some of the recipes. I won't put them all on there because I do want to make this cookbook. And in the cookbook, we'll have every single recipe that I have done on my videos, plus so many more that have been in the family. Tried and true recipes that have come down through my family that I have used, or some really good friend that has given me a recipe that I've used and just thought, you know, that's really good. I'm going to keep using that. There's a cranberry salad mold that I make at Christmas time that I got from a dear friend that I use pretty much every year. So I'll incorporate that into a video probably, and definitely put on my website, and definitely put in a cookbook. So I hope you've enjoyed watching me make my vegetable soup, and I'll catch you next time on Cooking with Carol Diane. Have a great afternoon. Bye-bye now.